Hello everyone, welcome to the 24th part of microcontroller architecture and programming. In previous video, we have learned about the interfacing of parallel ADCs, and in this video, we are going to learn about the interfacing of MAX 1112 serial ADC with 8051. So let's see the pin diagram of this ADC MAX 1112. So this is the serial ADC which have 8 different input channels, but only one output pin is there, and these are the different pins which are available for the interfacing. So let's see the function of each pin in detail. So it has 8 different input analog channels. So in the single-ended mode, each of the channels can be used for an analog input, where the COM pin is used as a ground reference for all the channels, and in a single-ended mode, 8 channels of input allow us to read 8 different analog inputs. We select the input channel by sending in the control byte via the DIN pin. In a differential mode, we have 4 sets of 2 channel differentials. Channel 0 and channel 1 go together, and channel 2 and channel 3 and so on. There is one pin that is a common pin. So this is a ground reference for the analog input in a single-ended mode. Then chip select. This is an active low input used to select the MAX 1112 chip. So this pin, when this pin goes low, it selects it activates the ADC chip. To send in the control byte via the DIN pin, this serial or a chip select input must be low. When this CS is high, the Dout is high impedance. Serial clock input. So this SCLK is used to bring data out and send in the control byte 1 bit at a time. Then Dout. So this is the serial data out pin, and the digital data is clocked out 1 bit at a time on the high to low edge, or that is the falling edge of the serial clock. DIN. So this is the serial data in the control byte is clocked in 1 bit at a time on the low to high edge, that is rising edge of a serial clock. This is serial strobe output pin, and in internal clock mode, this indicates end of conversion. So it goes high when the conversion is complete. VDD. So this is nothing but the plus 5 volt supply or power supply giving to the chip. Analog ground and digital ground. Both are input pins providing ground for both the analog and the digital signals. So there are 2 ground pins are available, and these are used to isolate the analog VIN signal from the transient voltages caused by the digital switching of the output, and such isolation contributes to the accuracy of the digital data output. SHDN, that is nothing but the shutdown pin, or it is an input and is normally not connected or is connected to VDD. In digital, we know that if we left open some pin, it is treated as a logical one. So it may be left open, or that is not connected, or it may be connected to the VDD. So if low, the ADC is shut down to save power. So this is shut down by hardware, and we can also shut down the ADC chip by using the control byte, and that is nothing but the shutdown by a software. Then one more pin is there, that is reference in. So this is the reference voltage input pin, and this voltage dictates the step size, and this pin is connected to 2.56 volt to get the step size, that is 2.56 divided by 256 equal to 10 millivolt. Reference out. So this is the internal reference generator output, and a 1 microfarad bypass capacitor is placed between this pin and analog ground. So here is the control byte that is used to select the one channel or any one channel out of the available 8 channels. then we can select the mode of operation using this control byte, or we can say that we can select the operation, that means unipolar or bipolar. Even we can select the modes, that is if we want to use the channels in a single-ended mode, or if we want to select the channels in a differential mode, we can select using this control byte. So this is a 8-bit. So this is D0 is the LSB bit and D7 is the MSB bit of the control byte. So when we send this control byte, the MSB bit is sent first. So these are the functions of these 8 bits. That is, so here for D7 it is a start bit, and this start bit must be sent first, and this should be high to indicate that it is the start of a control byte. Then this D6, D5 and D4, these are the selecting bits, that is SEL2, SEL1 and SEL0. These are channel selecting bits. Then D3, this is nothing but the unipolar and bipolar bit. D2 is nothing but a single-ended or differential-ended mode selecting bit. This is PD1, this choose the operation of the chip, and this PD0, this bit will decide the use of a clock. That means if we want to use the external clock or we want to use the internal clock. So this should be decided by this bit. So let's say this bits one by one. So this is the 7th bit, that is a start bit. So this is the MSB bit, and it must be high to define the beginning of the control byte, and it must be sent first. So these are the selecting bits for the channels. If we make this bit, that is SEL2, SEL1 and SEL0 equal to 0, 0, 0, then channel 0 is selected. If we make it 0, 0, 1, channel 1 is selected. For channel 2, if we make this bits 0, 1, 0, then channel 2 is selected. If we make this bits equal to 0, 1, 1, channel 3 is selected. 1, 0, 0, then channel 4 is selected. 1, 0, 1, channel 5 is selected. 1, 1, 0, then channel 6 is selected. And if we make all these bits equal to 1, 1, 1, then channel 7 is selected. So in this way, we can select any one channel out of 8 input channels in a single-ended mode. Now then D3 bit, that is a unipolar or a bipolar function decide bit. If we make this bit equal to 1, then it is selected the unipolar mode, where digital data output is binary, that is from 0, 0 to FFH. That means it is used in a single-ended mode, or it is operated in a single-ended mode. If we make this bit equal to 0, then the bipolar mode is selected and the digital data output is in 2's complement form. Next is a D2 bit, that is a single-ended or a differential-ended mode selection. If we want to choose a single channel, then we have to make this bit equal to 1. So after making this bit equal to 1, single-ended mode is selected, and in this mode we can select any one channel out of a 8 channel, and in this single channel with a comb as a reference is given. If we make this bit equal to 0, then differential mode is selected, and the pair of 2 channels, for example channel 0 and channel 1, or channel 2 and channel 3, like that, they are selected. And in this mode, the output, the binary output will be generated as a CH0, whatever input signals they are available on this channel, CH0 and CH1, the subtraction, that is the voltage available at CH0 minus voltage available on the channel 1, their difference will be converted into the digital output. Next bit is a PD1. So this will decide the operation of the ADC chip. If we make it 1, then it will be fully operational. That means we can use it as a single-ended mode or in a differential mode, and the whatever input available at the input channel, that will be converted into the digital output. If we make this bit equal to 0, then power down mode is selected, and it will be shut down and power down mode where the power is saved. Next bit is PD0. So here the external or the clock is decided. If we make this bit equal to 1, then external clock mode is selected, where the conversion speed is dictated by the SCLK, that is serial clock, that will decide the or dictate the conversion speed. If we make this bit equal to 0, then internal clock mode is selected, where the conversion speed is dictated internally and the serial strobe pin goes high to indicate end of conversion. So in this way, by making these bits 0 or 1, we can decide the mode or decide the function of the ADC chip. So here is the how we can select the control byte or how we can read out the digital data out of the ADC chip. So for selecting the control byte or for giving the control byte to the ADC chip, the first signal is CS, that is chip select input. So this chip select input must be low to activate the ADC chip. If this chip is activated, we can send the control byte to the ADC chip. So this chip is selected or activated by making this CS pin equal to 0. After that, we want as this the selecting or control byte is sending serially, so we require a clock. So here is the serial clock that send the control byte one bit at a time to the ADC chip. So here for the rising edge, the first bit or the MSB bit of the control byte will send to the ADC chip. So this is the first rising edge of the first clock pulse, and at this first clock pulse, the MSB bit or the start bit of the control byte will send to the ADC chip. So this is the start bit. Then for the next rising clock or rising edge, that means for a positive edge, that is from low to high transition of the second clock pulse, the second bit of the control byte will be sent. So here, as it is a serial communication, so here the SEL2, this bit will send first. Then for third clock pulse, the third bit that is SEL1, that will be sent to the ADC. Then for the fourth clock pulse, the next bit, that is SEL0, that will be sent. So these three bits will decide the input channel, or they select the input channel. After that, for the fifth clock pulse or on the rising edge of a fifth clock pulse, this fifth bit will be sent. This will decide the unipolar or bipolar operation of the ADC chip. For a sixth rising edge of a sixth clock pulse, sixth bit, that is single-ended or differential-ended mode bit will be sent, and this will decide the mode of a ADC chip. That means whether it should be operated in a single-ended mode or a differential mode. For seventh clock pulse, PD1 bit is sended, and at the 8th clock pulse, the last bit or LSB bit, that is PD0, will send to the ADC. So in this way, we can send the 8 bits of a control byte. So here, using these clock pulses or a serial clock, we can send one bit at a time, and this control byte will be sent to the ADC bit by bit. So similar way, we can read out the digital data after the conversion. So after sending this control byte, and when we apply the signal to the to this ADC chip, it will start conversion, and after the end of conversion, the signal strobe that will go high, that is serial strobe output will go high automatically, and this will show the or indicates the end of conversion. So after that we can read the converted data at the digital output pin. So let's see how we can read out this data from the ADC chip. So to read out data from the ADC chip, again the chip must be activated. So for that this CS input must be low. So here we are sending or making this sending the pulse, high to low pulse, to this CS input to activate the chip. So again we are reading data, as this is a serial ADC, we are reading this data bit by bit. So again serial clock is required to read out this data. But for this reading operation we required a high to low transition, that is negative edge. At the negative edge of every clock pulse, the bit they can be read out of the ADC chip. So first 8 clock pulses they are used for sending the control byte, and the next for read out the data out of ADC chip, the ninth pulse is there. So there will be no operation, and after that the 10th pulse, the falling edge of at the 10th pulse of a clock, the first bit or the MS bit of the digital data that will be read out of the ADC chip, that is bit or the 7 bit of a output data. Then for a next pulse, that is 11th pulse, falling edge of a 11th pulse, the next bit, that is D6 bit, will be read. Similarly for the 12th clock pulse, the negative or falling edge of a 12th clock pulse, at this clock pulse 5th bit will be read. For 13th negative edged, D4 will be read. Then for at the next falling edged, D3 bit will be read out of the chip. Next falling edged, D2 bit will be read. For 16th falling edged, D1 bit will be read, and at 17th falling edged, D0 bit will be read. So in this way we can read the 8 bits of a digital output data bit by bit using this serial clock pulses. So here is the connection of MAX 111 serial ADC with the 805 in. So here the serial chip or the chip select input is connected to the P2.0 pin of the 805 in. Then serial clock pin is connected to the P2.1 pin of a 805 in. D in pin is connected to P2.2 pin of 805 in, where we can send the control byte to the MAX 111. D out. So this is the output pin that is connected to P2.3 pin of a 805 in. So at this pin we can read out the digital data bit by bit. So here is the reference in pin. This pin is connected to 2.56 volt. If this pin, we left this pin open, at that time we get the output voltage equal to 4.096, that is a full scale voltage, and the step size will be 16 millivolt. If we want to get the step size equal to 10 millivolt, then we have to apply the reference voltage, that is voltage 2.56 volt to this reference in pin, so that we can get the 10 millivolt of a step size. Then this reference out pin is connected to the ground through this analog ground through this 1 microfarad capacitor. Then here the plus 5 volt VDD is connected, or plus 5 volt supply is connected to the VDD pin, and the shutdown SHDN, this is the shutdown pin that is connected to VDD. As we want to use this ADC chip in a fully operational mode, we have to connect this shutdown pin to the plus 5 volt. So it can be operated in a fully operational mode. If this is connected to ground, then this chip will go into the shutdown mode. So here are the 8 different input channels, and out of this channel we have connected channel 2 to this 10 kilo ohm port that is connected to plus 5 volt supply. That means we can use the voltage, input voltage from 0 to 5 volt. So in this range we can select any input voltage, and that will be converted into the equivalent digital output. Here COM, that is the reference for the single ended mode channel, that is connected to ground, and this digital ground is also connected to ground. So this is the connection for the MAX 1112 serial ADC with the 8051. So here is the assembly language and C language program for sending in a control byte for a MAX 1112 ADC. First we have to send the control byte, and then we are read out the converted data out of the chip. So here we have defined the pin P2.0 as a chip select pin, that is CS, using the data type bit. Then P2.1, that is selected as a serial, that is named as a serial clock pin. Then P2.2 is defined as a D-in pin, where we have to send the control byte. Then P2.3 is defined as a D-out pin, where we get the digital data out of the ADC chip. So here is our main program. Here move A comma hash 0AEH. So using this instruction we are selecting the channel 2. So this is 0AE is nothing but 10101110. So this is nothing but the control byte. That means we are sending this data through the control byte to the ADC chip. So here this is the start bit, that is MSB bit, that must be 1. Then these three are SEL2, SEL1 and SEL0. These three are the channel selecting bits. So we are making this bit as 0, 1, 0. That means we are selecting channel 2. Then the next bit are unipolar or bipolar. So we have using is this as a single ended. So we are making this bit as a 1. That means we are selecting unipolar operation. Then we are selecting this as in a single ended mode, and we are selecting in this ADC in a fully operational mode, and we are using the internal clock, where the strobe serial strobe input will decide the or will give the indicate or that indicates the end of a conversion. So this is the value, that is nothing but 0AEH. To send this control byte bit by bit, we have loaded here the counter, that means move R3 comma hash 8. So this is nothing but the counter value that is loaded into the register R3. Then clear CS. We have to make the CS equal to 0 to activate the ADC chip. Now clear C. So here we are going to use the carry flag to shift the bit. So we are making this carry flag equal to 0. Now here in accumulator the value is 0AEH, or this is the binary value, that is 10101110. This is loaded into this accumulator, and we are using the instruction RLC, that is rotate left accumulator through carry. So this will give the MSB bit to carry. So MSB bit of this accumulator, that is this, will be loaded into the carry, and now we are giving this carry or the MSB bit through this carry to D-in pin. That means using instruction move D-in comma C, send bit to D-in, that is MSB bit to D-in. And to send this bit we require a clock pulse. So here we are giving the clock pulse clear SCLK. So here we are sending actually low to high pulse. So here a call delay and make the serial clock equal to 1. So using this instruction SLK equal to 0 and SCLK equal to 1, we are actually sending the low to high pulse to send this bit. Again wait for a moment and DJNZ R3 back. Decrement jump if not 0. That means it checks or it decrements the content of R3 and it checks whether it is 0. If it is not 0, then go to this location back. So we have loaded the value 8 into R3. So we have to send all these 8 bits. We are using this as a counter. So it is not 0. So it will go to this location. Again it will rotate the accumulator by 1 bit and the MSB bit that will be loaded into the carry. So here the next bit will be loaded into the carry now. Again this will be given to the DIN pin using the instruction move DIN comma C. Again to give this bit or to send this bit to DIN pin, we have to apply a clock pulse. So again high to low clock pulse is given using these 3 instructions, and again after waiting a moment we are again decreasing the register R3 and we are again checking whether it is 0. If it is not, again go to the location back. So in this way all these 8 bits they are shifted and given to this DIN pin, and all the 8 bits they are loaded into the ADC chip. So in this way we can send the control byte to the ADC. So after sending all the 8 bits, when this R3 becomes 0, it will comes here. So this will set bit CS. So this select the ADC conversion. So it deactivates the actually ADC chip using the instruction set bit CS. And now here clear SCLK. So it must be 0 during the conversion. So this is the assembly language program, and here is the C language program to send the control byte. So again here we are defining the bit P2.0 as a CS using data type S bit. Similarly P2.1 as a SCLK, then P2.2 pin as a DIN pin, P2.3 as a DOUT pin, and the MSB bit of accumulator as a MSB array. Okay, so in this way we are defining all the bits. Here is the main program. We have using the unsigned character, that is control byte, that is equal to the value 0xAE. So by sending this value we are selecting the channel 2 in a single ended mode with a fully operational mode. So here again we are using the unsigned character X for the counting. So here ACC is nothing but the accumulator. So we are loading this control byte, that is 0xAE value that is available in this variable control byte, that will be loaded into accumulator. Now we are activating the chip using the instruction CS equal to 0. We are making this CS pin equal to 0 and activating the ADC. Again we have using for loop for the counter. So here x equal to 0, x is less than 8 and x plus plus. So it will repeat this for loop 8 times to send these 8 bits to the ADC. So here we are making the SCLK equal to 0. Then this is MSB-RA is nothing but the 7th bit or MSB bit of the accumulator we have defined over here. So the content of that accumulator or the 7th bit of that accumulator, that will be given to the pin DIN. So actually we are sending the D7 of a accumulator to DIN. Again we have called here delay, and again we have given the clock, that is SCLK equal to 1. So this will latch the bit into ADC. Again, wait for some time and rotate accumulator to the left for the next bit. So again, so here we can send the next bit to the D-in pin. So in this way we are shifting the accumulator left one bit by one bit, and this will given to the D-in pin bit by bit. So in this way we are sending all the 8 bits of the control byte. After sending all 8 bits, so here by making CS equal to 1 and SCLK equal to 0, we are actually deactivating the ADC chip. So in this way we can send the 8 bits of a control byte to the ADC chip. Now we have to read out the converted data from the MAX111 to ADC. So here is the assembly language program to read out the data. So again we are defining the P2.0 pin of port 2 as a CS, P2.1 as a SCLK, P2.2 as a D-in, P2.3 as a D-out, and here is the program. So here set bit D-out. So make it an input. So we have to read the data from this pin. So we are conferring this pin as a input pin. Clear CS. Again activate the chip. Then set bit SCLK. So to read out the data, here low to high pulse we have to set. So here we are making this equal to SCLK equal to 0, then add delay, then clear SCLK. So here first high to low pulse is given. So again wait for a moment, clear C, that is accumulator, carry flag, sorry, then clear accumulator, and to read out all 8 bits of the digital output we require a counter. So we are using the R3 as a counter. So we are loaded this with a value 8. Again here set bit SCLK. To read out the data, add delay, then clear SCLK. So to read out data out of the ADC chip, we have to send high to low pulse, that is negative edge of the pulse. At every negative edge of pulse of the SCLK or the serial clock, the bits of the digital output, they will be read into the accumulator. So here wait for a moment and read out the bit into carry flag, and then rotate the accumulator. So here we are rotating the accumulator through carry. So whatever bit available into the carry, that will be loaded into the LSB bit of the accumulator. And again we are decreasing this R3, and if it is not 0, so it will, to read out the next bit, it will go to the location H2, and the next bit that will be again read out into the carry. Again this accumulator will be shifted, and in this way all the bits, they are shifted from right to left, and all 8 bits, they will be available into the accumulator. So after reading all 8 bits, again we are making this chip equal to CS bit equal to 1 to deactivate the chip, and all available 8 bits of digital output, they can be sent to the port 1. Sorry. Here is the C program. Again we are defining the all bits. Now here the last accumulator 0 bit, the LSB bit of accumulator, that is defined as a LSB RA. So where we are reading the data into this bit. Here we have defined the unsigned char X, that is used for counter. Using instruction CS equal to 0, we are selecting the or activating the ADC chip MAX112. Then this is the extra clock that will be given to this ADC chip. We are making this SCLK equal to 1, wait for movement and again make it 0. That means we are sending high to low pulse to the ADC chip. Now here we have to read the data out of the ADC chip. So we have using here for loop. So here at every negative or a falling edge of a SCLK or a serial clock, all the 8 bits they are read out of the ADC chip bit by bit. So here first negative edge is given and the first bit that will be read into this LSB-RA, that is nothing but the LSB bit of a accumulator. So whatever the MSB bit that will be come out or read out of the MSB ADC chip, that will be read into the LSB bit of a accumulator. After that we are rotating this accumulator to the left by 1 bit. Again it will go here and it will again read the next bit into this LSB-RA, that is in LSB bit of accumulator. Again it will be rotated. So in this way all the 8 bits they are read into the LSB bit of accumulator and all the time it will be rotated to the left bit by bit. So all 7 times this will be rotated and all the 8 bits they have loaded into the accumulator. So after that we have using instruction CS equal to 1, we have deselect the ADC and whatever data 8-bit data available into the accumulator, that will be given to the port 1 where we can display or we can use for another operation. So it will be given to the port 1. So in this way we can read the data out of. Here is the assignment questions are given. Solve the questions.